Hello, I am Serendipitous, and this is another board game shelf video. This time I'm sharing Gloom, specifically second edition, but yeah, Gloom, the card game. So I will admit, I have mixed feelings about this game. Overall, this is a very good and well designed game, and my wife loves it. We mainly got it because my wife likes, I mean, I don't mind spooky things either. Like I like Haunted Mansion as much as the next person, but my wife really loves this kind of stuff. Um, and I mean, I do like the artwork, but it's just like there's some cool things to this game, but the premise is just really depressing. So it says the game of inauspicious incidents and grave consequences. So the aim of the game is, I mean, just like any game, is to win, and the way you win is you try to have the least number of points. Now, the cool thing, I will say, the cool thing about this game, and I wish I saw more games that did, I wish I came across more games that did this, but these cards, as you can see, they're transparent. You can see through them, and that's because there's this kind of a cover up sort of mechanic to this. So let me see if I can find let me see if I can find a like person. Like, okay, here we go. So there are various clans or families, and you choose one of them. So we got like this. We've got like this family here, which I think is I think this is like a circus. We got we got this family. There's four different families, and you choose one of them. And essentially, what you want to do is you want to make your family's lives as miserable as possible before they die, before they kick the bucket. And the way you do that is you play various cards on top of let's as an example here. Let's say I have this guy right here. All right, we have Lord Wellington Smith, dumbfounded Duke. There's a lot of just like there is a lot of dark whimsy to this, a lot of alliteration, a lot of like puns and dark humor and that kind of thing. But essentially, you have all these different modifier cards. This is a death card because if you put it on top of this, you see it would entirely cover the portrait, and it describes that he was baked into a pie, and it has some other effects and things like that. But before that, like as soon as a person is dead, then that's it. Like nothing more can happen to them. But you have a bunch of these modifier cards, right? So for example, we have one called "Was Put into Prison." So if you put that on top, then there's certain card effects, but it also has negative 20 points that is added to the card. All right. I can also say that in addition to that, he was sickened by salmon. So if I put that on there, that's minus 20 in addition to minus 10 for a total of negative 30. If I were, however, to put this on here, was galled by gangrene, then the negative 20 is covered up, and instead we have negative 15 and negative 10, which generally you wouldn't want. You want to have a lower score. There are also positive things that can happen. Found fame at a feast, or found love on the lake, and your opponents can play cards like this and entirely cover those up and give you and either cancel out the points to zero or even give you positive points. So now this guy's worth 10 points, which is not what you want. You want negative points. So you're trying to make good things happen to other people's families and terrible things happen to your characters. And then finally, you can put this card on top, and that's it. Like that's they're done for. This is what it's going to be, and it's not going to change. So, for example, something like this would be honestly pretty good for you because you would then have negative 30 points total. So that's how these cards work. And there's lots of other things there's lots of other card effects that have to do with skipping turns or drawing cards, playing cards, and all kinds of things. But that's basically the gist of it. And again, as much as I admire how these cards work and how they the transparent overlay, it's really cool. It's just like what you're doing is just. I tend to focus more on sort of like the narrative of a game. If a game is narrative focused, I tend to really like sort of focus a bit more on that. and you're just doing terrible things to people. But you know, I'm happy to play this on occasion with my wife because she enjoys uh, she enjoys this kind of thing, and it is a very clever game. Like it's a clever and unique premise and unique mechanics and things like that. So, but yeah, I don't mind having this at all. I know there are other versions of Gloom out there. I think there's like Gloomier or Gloomiest or something like that is out there. But here we have I think like the original Gloom. I guess it's second edition because some board games like decide that they want to sort of improve their rules and like they come out with an improved rule set or something like that. I don't know what Gloom was like before second edition, but this is what we have now, and yeah, there you go. Um, you could kind of do a little bit of like a role playing game is or like you could kind of like make this a bit more of a narrative game by like talking about oh this thing happened to this person and then this thing happened so what led up to that and whatever, but I don't we never really play it that way. We just kind of play the cards, pay attention to the points, and that's that. So anyway, that is Gloom. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, all the best.